Jomboy, so you've alluded to it earlier in our conversation, and I had no idea that if I've got this right, your brother's a partner in this with you. Like, is this a
Yeah.
family affair?
So my brother founded the company, and he is John Boy. The company's named after him. He built this, started this in 2017. I was an angel investor, early advisor, like really was on the sidelines for the first 3 years, and then I joined full time at the end of 2020.
And you started off as the VP of Sales and Partnerships.
Yes, yeah. So this was the first time ever in life where our skill sets made sense to work together because he is a genius at content creation and creativity and building community. And the end of 2020 is the first time where they really needed to start monetizing, um, building infrastructure, operationalizing, turning it into a business. And the easiest way to monetize an online community and content is through ad sales. So it made sense that I joined him and came on board.
Did Jomboy start as, say, like a singular YouTube channel where it got to the point where your brother's like, I've got quite the audience. There might be something we can monetize and turn this into a
Yeah.
business?
It started as a Twitter account. And when he had
Really? Okay.
talking about the New York Yankees and built a community on Twitter. He had 7,000 Twitter followers, turned that into a podcast, turned that into a national baseball podcast, turned that into a YouTube channel, and kind of just like kept on growing from there.
Curious, how did he and even yourself at Jomboy, how do you guys kinda keep the conversation going during the off season?
The off season is so fun because that's when your most intense fans are just dying for any baseball talk. So
Mm.
it's funny. So the engagement in the off season is the higher than in season because
Really?
you have like the core, like diehard baseball fans just like waiting for us to drop any piece of content. So it's really, you have winter meetings, talk about the trades, and then after the new year, it's basically you're talking about spring training. So it's just a nonstop business.
How did your role change when you were promoted to chief operating officer?
So that's when I officially took over the entire business operations. And I was always kind of doing that on the side with Jimmy, and we are making decisions together. But we wanted to just formally announce to the company that he was really leading content and creative, and I was taking all of the business responsibilities.
Did you guys have any sort of pushback in the market from the major sports brands like Fox Sports, ESPN, and so forth? Because it feels like there's a bit of a reckoning happening right now in the world between creator content and I guess you could sort of say legacy content,
Yeah.
especially when they tend to overlap in formats.
No, I think they've always been really friendly, and, now it's so cool because they're finding ways to work together. You see the deal that Barstool just did with Fox Sports. Creators are really becoming the new programmers, and they're becoming like production houses, and these major networks are licensing content from creators. Same thing happened with ESPN and Pat McAfee. So, it's it's exciting, I think, for both sides because both worlds are starting to merge together.
And speaking of partnerships, John Boy signed, and correct me if I've got this incorrect, signed some sort of partnership with Major League Baseball like
Yep,
2 months ago?
yep, Major
So
League Baseball made
yeah.
an investment.
Well, they made an investment,
Yep,
okay,
they have a
within the
minority
company.
stake in Jomboy Media.
How did that start? Just one like, is this small talk going back and forth for a number of months? Just one day, do you get an email in your inbox and you, like, spit out your coffee in the morning going, "Wait, what?" Like, how does
No,
that
this has been
conversation
in the
start?
making for the years.
Years, okay.
Always working alongside of each other, always knowing that, um, we were playing in the same space. How do we work together? Um, and I think it just came to a head last year where they really wanted to figure out how to make an official partnership happen. So it's unbelievable. It's a totally unprecedented deal. We are the first creator-led media company to ever sign a deal, an investment deal with a major sports league. You see a lot of other commercial type partnerships around, but there's no other creator company where a league has invested interest in their long-term success.
from one sales professional to another who's worked on some pretty big deals. How did it feel when you heard from your legal team that the ink was dry on the contract and it closed?
Oh, well, the legal team was me and my husband because he's a lawyer and an
Nice.
advisor, and we were up till, like, 2 a.m. every single night for this week trying to get it closed, and it felt really good. We were targeting a launch date, we knew it was going to press, so there was a lot of pressure and momentum in order for the deal to get signed, but it felt really fun when it was done, and it was just so cool, like, I get to do that with my brother, his best friend, the co-founder Jake, and my husband all coming together and like working on this deal together. So it's a very cool moment.
And since that deal has closed, how have things changed at Jomboy? Like, just focusing on the content, like, what kind like, I imagine that, the creators have got increased access to certain resources,
Yep.
people, and so forth.
Yep. A lot of access to tools and resources, access to footage, archival footage that no one else has access to players. Players come into their office. They're like, hey, send your social team up here, media credentials at every single Jewel event that creators don't traditionally get media access to. So the access has been amazing. We're just really welcomed and integrated into the league. And then the opportunity to work with a lot of distribution partner. So we just signed a deal with Tubi. We signed a deal with WFAN. We're in talks with others that before it was just harder to get momentum going when we didn't have an official league deal in place. And now that we have the full support of the league with access no one else has, it's just really elevated our business and then also our content.